and welcome to my first channel update video. Now, before I get into that, I just wanted to say a huge thank you to all of you. I never expected to get up to 200 subscribers in just 2 months. So that is really, really exciting and it's really cool. And that's all down to you guys getting engaged and sharing the content and just being really, really cool people. So thank you very much for that. And I just wanted to let you know as well that I'm planning a little bit of something a bit special for when I get up to 250 subscribers. So if you want to find out what that's going to be, get sharing, spread the word, and let's get my content out there so that I can get more subscribers and get my stuff out to more people. So on to today's video. Now, I wanted to let you know in a proper video rather than just making a note on my Facebook page that you're probably not really going to see much content from me for a few weeks. And the reason for that is because I've started tinkering with a new project, and it's a very big project. And I knew that if I tried to do this project and kind of keep up with doing my Wednesday and Saturday regular basing videos, I just end up getting stressed, and this isn't meant to be stressful, it's meant to be fun. So what I've decided to do is focus on this project and kind of put everything else on hold for a little bit until I can at least get the first couple of videos filmed for that. The only video that I am definitely going to do in the next couple of weeks is my I Am a Wargamer video that Andy Burdis over at Black Jazz Legacy kindly nominated me for. So I'm putting that together, and that'll probably be next week or the week after. So what is this big project, I hear you ask? So I've been umming and ahhing about the direction I want my channel to go because there's only so many different bases I can make, and as I've said before, not everybody is into kind of making these kind of really complex, time-consuming bases. And I wanted to do something a little bit different and kind of do something that might help people who are trying to get into the hobby. As I've said before, I'm not the best painter in the world, so I didn't want to go down the painting tutorials route. And besides, there are so many people on YouTube at the moment who are fantastic painters and doing some incredible tutorials. So I decided I wanted to do something a little bit different. So one of the things that I've always found with a lot of war games is if you're very new to the world and you don't really have any paints, or you're literally just starting but you've heard of a game that sounds really cool and you want to try it, sometimes there's kind of quite a big block to getting involved because of the cost. So you've got to buy your models. There's no way around that. You have to buy some models for the game you want to play. But then when you start looking and you think, well, if I follow the painting tutorials for these models, I'm going to have to buy 20-30 paints. I'm going to have to buy terrain, I'm going to have to buy scatter terrain, and I'm going to have to buy a playmat or a playboard and all this kind of thing, and it becomes so costly. And I know in the past for me that has been a big barrier to getting into particular games. Ages ago I quite fancied getting into Kill Team, but it just so overwhelming and expensive if I wanted to have all the bits and pieces and all the shiny stuff to, get set up and have it look really cool on the table. So here is my plan. My new series is going to be called Budget Builds. And what I'm going to do is I am going to choose a game that I want to get into, and I'm going to buy the models. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint them as cheaply as possible. So I'm going to paint these models using as few colours as possible, but still getting them so that they look really cool on the table. And then I'm going to scratch build the bases, the big terrain, the scatter terrain, and the board or battle map. And I'm going to do all of this spending as little money as possible. I'm literally going to go Blue Peter on you. I might even find a way to use sticky back plastic and a washing up liquid bottle. I haven't quite decided yet. So as you can imagine, like I said, this is quite a big project because I'm going to have to do lots of videos. So I'm going to split it up. So there's going to be an episode on painting, an episode on the bases, episode on terrain, and an episode on the board. Might have to split the board into 2 videos. I haven't decided yet. But I'm genuinely really going to be using household materials, stuff you find on the street, stuff you find in your garden, things that you'd normally put in your recycling bin, and keeping kind of specialist hobby materials to a bare minimum. And I'm hoping that by doing this, people who are maybe kind of into the hobby and already doing a little bit of painting and building might be able to see that you can get some great results and get into a new game without spending loads and loads of money. So that's the goal. And that's what I'm going to be working on over the next few weeks to a month. Now, the first game I'm going to do is actually Kill Team. And then another one that I'm thinking about doing is Burrows and Badgers. But what I'd like from you is if there are any games that you think that this is kind of maybe an issue with, any games that you think are really expensive to get everything for, or, you know, there's just so many options out there that it's really difficult to know what to spend your money on, or if you just want to find out some cheap hobby hacks and how you can make stuff for your existing games much cheaper than you would if you went out and bought them. So if you've got any suggestions, put them in the comments down below. And I hopefully will get the first video out in 3 or 4 weeks. So fingers crossed. But until then, happy hobbying.